Happy New Year. I hope that you're enjoying this new year so far, that you are filled with hope and assurance that God is walking with you throughout this coming year. I want to first of all mention that we do have a trip coming up in about 10 days. It's a trip to Kansas City by bus, large diesel bus. We will be traveling there early in the morning, arriving at Union Station, where we will be touring the Auschwitz exhibit. Auschwitz was, of course, a camp in Poland during the Nazi era, where over a million people perished in those series of camps, primarily Jewish people and Slavic people. This particular exhibit is going to be fascinating because they actually have quite a few of the artifacts that came from the camp. There's a guided tour. We're going to be spending about probably 2.5, 3 hours, 3 hours at the very most, but probably 2.5 hours in the exhibit to be able to effectively see it. So the reason I'm sharing that with you now is because we've still got a number of tickets left. The cost is only $50, which just barely covers our expenses. In fact, if we don't sell all of our tickets, it doesn't cover our expenses, but nevertheless, we'll figure it out. But we want you to be part of that. This can be a life-changing understanding of human nature and of the cause of sin in our world. And I think it's important for every person to be mindful of this, cognizant of it. They teach it in schools today, the Holocaust, and how devastating it was to the Jewish people of Europe. So I want to encourage you, if you haven't signed up yet, that you will do so. Call into the church office. We'll send you information, but do it in the next couple days so that we can get you signed up. This morning, I want to just mention that as we head into this new year, on Sunday morning, I talked about the new year and what it might entail, but also as we head into a new year, it's equally as important to take what was part of the last year and to be able to put it behind us. We oftentimes make the mistake of saying, well, this year is going to be different. This year is going to be a new opportunity, but we carry a lot of the same baggage into the new year. There's a story that while on a mission to the New World, that Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez, many history books kind of gloss over the dark elements of this story. The nitty-gritty goes something like this, that while on a mission to the New World, some of his men were loyal to the governor of Cuba, and they conspired to seize one of his ships and to escape to Cuba. In other words, to conduct a mutiny. Cortez moved swiftly against their plan and quashed their plan. And 2 ringleaders were condemned and hanged, 2 were lashed, and 1 had his foot mutilated. To make sure such a mutiny did not happen again, he decided to scuttle all of his ships on the pretext that they were no longer seaworthy, and so there was no way that they could go back, fulfill their plan, or bring about a mutiny again. Basically, they were stranded in Mexico. There's a popular misconception that the ships were burned rather than sunk. And while all of his ships scuttled, except for one small ship with which to send his representatives and his booty, the gold and so on that he found, back to the King of Spain, Cortez effectively stranded his entire fleet in Mexico. It's a dark story, but it's the kind of mentality that we have to have as we go into the new year. When we think about moving on in our lives and moving to the next phase of our lives, sometimes we need to scuttle that which has kept us back, that which has nearly destroyed us in the future. We come to a new point with God. Why would we ever consider going back to what things were before when God has offered us His plan as we move ahead? Deliberate living requires that we model the behavior of the Apostle Paul and take steps to live out a godly life. Apostle Paul talks about putting everything behind and striving for what lies ahead. And that's what we need to do as followers of Christ. May God bless you in this new year. May you find hope and assurance every day. May you change the habits, change the life, so that you can live more effectively for the Lord. Go in God's peace. Amen.